Hello and welcome to Fanshawe College's virtual open house. My name is Pranav Rathi and I work for International Office at Fanshawe. I look after the South Asia market. I will be the host for today's session. Before we begin today's session, I would like to review a few housekeeping items. Audience and attendees webcam and mics would be turned off for the session. If you have any questions throughout the session, we request you to submit it with the questions feature. To open the questions feature, click on the question mark that is mentioned on the screen. If you're using a phone, there would be a question mark there. So just click on it. You'll be able to submit the question. Following the session, we will have the live Q&A from the questions that were submitted by you. We'll try our level best to go through all the submitted questions within the session time. If you have any further questions after the session, we request you to write to international@fanshawe.ca or book an appointment with one of our Fanshawe College recruiters. If you have multiple programs that are open and running in your system, it may compromise your webinar experience. We request you to take a moment now and close all the open programs before we begin today's session. Now, I would like to introduce Corinne Rahman, who will be speaking about the program Healthcare Business Administration at Fanshawe. She's the program coordinator for the same program, Healthcare Business Administration. I will be back again for the live Q&A, and I'm going to pass it over to Corinne. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pranav. Appreciate it. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Corinne Rahman. I am a professor at Fanshawe College. I teach courses in management and business at the lovely London South Campus. I'm also the coordinator for the Healthcare Administration Management Graduate Certificate Program. And I'm so excited to have the opportunity to share with you today information about this program. So welcome. A little bit about the program and our ultimate goal. So our goal is to equip you with the tools to be successful in a healthcare role. And what we're going to do is we're going to build on your knowledge that you've gained in your other studies before you've come to Fanshawe, and we're going to prepare you for the Canadian healthcare experience. What we're looking to do is make sure you have the top job skills of the future, and that is novel and adaptive thinking, resilience, implementation skills, and complex problem solving. How we're going to do that? Well, we're going to make sure that you have an experience that's very inclusive and comprehensive, with focus on the Canadian healthcare setting, financial practices, how to lead a team, communicating, making decisions, and then we have these amazing day-to-day real-life interactions that we'll be able to put you through in our simulators in EMR, electronic medical records, and billing and training. This program provides applicable knowledge that will make you job ready, and that's the goal, is that at the end of the day, there will be a pathway for you to enter healthcare as an administration team member or as a member of management. Every successful graduate of the Healthcare Administration Management Program will receive an Ontario College Graduate Certificate. And our graduates are suited for careers, and as I mentioned, in entry-level management positions in a wide variety of healthcare settings, clinics, hospitals, private facilities, and other organizations. So I want to tell you a little bit about the basic structure of the program. So this is a 2-year graduate certificate program, so that's 4 semesters. In total, 23 courses will be available to you, and they're all mandatory courses to complete the graduate certificate. The courses are in HR, finance, billing, scheduling, ethics, healthcare law, and we've got a lot of courses that have case-based content. So that means real-world scenarios that are presented to you in your classes for discussion, so that you can work through a problem with your classmates and really practice and look at how you make decisions. We also have an Accuro live client training environment that is top-notch and just a great way for students to learn about the billing environment in healthcare, as well as to learn about electronic medical records. And this live client experience is, as we've said, it's live, but it's also updated daily. So what that means is, as we've been going through this pandemic and billing codes have changed and the way that we've been doing healthcare has changed as well, this system is updated so that you have real world information at your fingertips. So it's quite amazing because when you leave the live client environment and you go out into the working world, this is the kind of information that will set you apart. Students coming into this program, as I mentioned, we're looking to build from your previous schooling and your work experience. And so far with our first cohort, we found such a vast level of experience. It's been amazing to see the different backgrounds and the way that everyone is coming together in the classroom. We're teaching you mid-level managerial skills. You'll have experience in things like marketing, human resources, finance, ethics, and law when you complete this program. You'll be able to apply your knowledge and theories to real life situations. As I mentioned, a lot of our courses involve live client training. We use case study method, and there's also a capstone project at the end in the 4th semester. So again, our goal is to place you in the decision-making role in a healthcare context. That is how we see this course evolving into creating leaders in healthcare. Included here is a list of all of the courses, and you'll see some of the titles of these courses: Health Systems Administration Management, Medical Spreadsheet Applications, Project Management Organizational Structures. We start building foundational knowledge in the Canadian health system. We look at how to prepare you for the workforce in our level 1 and in our level 4 with workplace prep for healthcare 1 and 2. We have a focus on legal and ethical issues, as we see that those are at the forefront of a lot of the decision making for healthcare managers. So we've got legal and ethical issues as well as Canadian healthcare law. Other courses that are of interest to students are HR courses as well as our employee relations courses. So again, taking you through some real life interactions that you'll be able to experience through the case study method and to practice, being able to make a decision and hear some feedback on what you would have done in that scenario. So our class sizes for this program are approximately 30 students per section. And we have a maximum of 2 sections for every course. So that's approximately 60 students in each level each term. So we are getting set to welcome our winter cohort and have had an excellent response and are so pleased to welcome that full complement of students. So the question we get asked a lot is, who are the professors in this program? We have amazing professors. They all come with a healthcare background and then have mingled healthcare and business in some way. So some of them have been, CEOs, executive directors of healthcare networks and healthcare organizations here in the region. Others have been physicians, nurse practitioners, and other healthcare workers that are bringing their skill set to the forefront. We have healthcare database managers. We have those running COVID assessment centers. We've got just a vast array of people with healthcare experience and networks, which is really important to have in our professors. As I mentioned, they bring decades of hospital and private clinic experience with them, and their experience is there to share with you. And they are really enjoying the process of being able to teach in this program and to be able to share their experience and knowledge. So again, going back to the structure for this course, or for this program, sorry, our basic structure of our courses is they are blended courses. So 2-hour lectures and 1 hour of independent online study. We've got lots of amazing resources for students to learn from embedded into the modules. So videos and documentaries and even extra extension activities for those students that want to go further in their learning. So lots of amazing opportunities to learn, and the Fanshawe online experience is a second to none. FOL is really user friendly. Our classes have been taking place in the online environment right now with COVID, and our professors are teaching live synchronous classes, and it's been really great. It's been as close to face as possible at this time, and just they're doing an amazing job. So weekly content of the courses, what will you have to do? Well, in level 1, there's a lot of textbooks. So there will be some readings that you'll be assigned. And because, again, we're teaching you the fundamentals of Canadian healthcare, we want to make sure you have that foundational knowledge. There's videos, there's lectures, assignments, quizzes, simulations, cases, tests, all of these things to help you to prepare for the real world. So a grading, we get asked this question fairly often, is how do you prepare yourself for success in this program? So first and most important is to attend class. That's critical for you to pass. There are many evaluation opportunities, and we need you to make school a priority. And for those in this program right now, what we found is that they've come from a background where school has always been a priority, and so that is really translated well. Your professors are very available. They run office hours, some of them daily, and they make themselves available for any questions that you may have as you go through this process. They're there to support you. So I am part of the London South Campus. The London South Campus is a brand new campus, and we have excellent services and resources at that campus. And right now with COVID, the campus is not fully operational, but we do offer 2 days of services right now, Tuesdays and Thursdays on campus. There's lots of great shops and restaurants and places nearby. There's free parking for vehicles on site. There's public transit right at the doorstep of the London South Campus, and you also have access to all facilities at the main Oxford campus as well. Many of the students that are attending classes at London South when the building was open, they were also living in the area because it was very convenient and easy to find work for those that were working part-time in the area as well. So that is a little bit about the program. I'm sure you have lots of questions, so I wanted to make sure I kept lots of time so that we can address those. So please feel free to post any questions you might have in the chat. And also, I know International has let you know that they are available to take questions and have provided international@fanshawe.ca for you to do so. You can also reach out to me should you have any program-specific requests, and I can help you there. With that, I'll turn it over to you for your questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Corinne, for providing such insightful information about your program at Fanshawe. We're now going to move to live Q&A. So if you want to ask any questions, please submit questions through the question feature that we talked about earlier. And so we have a question here, Corinne. So how does this program compare to the other healthcare administration programs, and how different it is?
That's an excellent question. So the one thing that we were able to do is this program was created after some of the initial programs in other colleges were created. So we were able to see what the other colleges had done. We also have two very successful programs here, Health Systems Management and Health Office Administration. And what we've been able to do is take complementary courses from those programs to help build this course, or this program, sorry. What we really wanted to do though was we wanted it to be interactive, and we wanted to give you real world experience. So using the live client versions and the simulators in this program is going to be a competitive advantage for students that are in this program. What we're looking to do is to give you that up-to-date information. And as we know more than ever today, healthcare is changing daily. And with those changes, we need to make sure you are ready for healthcare today in the most relevant way possible. So that is our aim, and that's what we're committed to. The other thing I'd like to mention is, again, this idea at the end of year 4, in level 4, would have completed your capstone project. This is a project working with local healthcare businesses to help to solve a problem that they bring to us. So I just want you to think about that from a networking perspective. We are bringing into the classroom uh, people that you will be able to help to solve a problem for, which means that we're creating opportunities for you to network. We're creating opportunities to show your expertise.
Thank you so much for a great answer.
You're welcome.
We've got another question here, Corinne. Um, there's a question about the textbooks. Would there be any textbooks as part of the program?
Yes, so we tend to have most of our textbooks in level 1, and then there's 1 or 2 in level 2 and level 3. Um, most of the textbooks actually cover more than one term. So we have a textbook in level 1 for Canadian health systems that's also used in our law course. We have a textbook in healthcare database management that is then used in level 2 as well. So what we tried to do is we tried to cover those textbook costs where we absolutely needed a textbook over a few terms so that it got maximum use. And that was really key to us as well.
Just a follow-up question to that. So, because the program is going to be online and there is a
Mhm.
possibility multiple students would be starting the program from their home countries. So, how exactly you think the textbooks would work then?
Yeah, so we've actually had great success this term working with our suppliers to make sure that online versions were available. And by the way, they're cheaper when you buy in the
Yeah.
online environment. So we've been able to source every single one of our textbooks online. For those that are entering in the winter or the spring, summer, we can actually give you an early copy of the textbook list so that you could order them much in advance if needed, if you needed that hard copy as well. But it is definitely something that is sourceable. And I know our professors have been so proactive. They've also went and checked on Amazon and other sources to see if textbooks were available international.
Right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We've got one more question here, Corinne, about the assessment.
Mhm.
So, would there be exams in this program? How exactly the assessment would work?
Yeah, so we do have some final evaluations in the last week of the courses, but they're not, I would say, traditional exams. We've kind of stayed away from those more traditional exams. We have a lot of final presentations that are, an opportunity for the student to present some sort of culminating work that they've done throughout the course. We're really focusing on verbal skills in this program. So a lot of what we do is about delivering either a presentation or some modality where the student has a chance to communicate verbally, because we really want to help strengthen that skill. What we also have is a lot of classes are case-based, and each week is worth a 10% assessment. And we take your best 10 cases and we grade those as your mark. So what that means is that in your final week, you only have a 10% case evaluation. So you're graded and you know where you stand all the way throughout the course and the program. And that's really important to us, is that you have consistent feedback so you know how you're doing, so then you know how to seek out help. So that's really important for this program.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right. Another question. Um, so next question is about the city. Uh,
Yeah.
what is London, Ontario like, and your experience in London, Ontario?
Absolutely. So I've lived in London for about 8 years, but born and raised in Canada. And London is a fast growing city. So there's about 400,000 people that live here. So we consider that a mid-sized city in Canada. I know in some places of the world it's very small, 400,000. So yeah, we're about a mid-sized city. The cost of living in London, Ontario is modest, and that's very helpful. I know for students, the cost of housing is also, it trends right around where Ontario trends. So again, that's really important. When you look at our jobs data, we tend to be doing better on recovery in London, Ontario, which is great, and especially for those looking for part-time work while they're going to school. The city itself, what I love about London is it has a small town feel to it, but you get some of those big city experiences. So we've got, and again, when we don't have COVID, you have access to great musical programming at our arenas, and you have, amazing festivals. There's fantastic parks, great walking trails here in London. We have a new cricket complex that's being developed on Adelaide Street. Oh, you didn't know that, did you, Pranav? Okay, so I'm telling you something new now, too. So, yeah, we have a great cricket facility that's being built on Adelaide right now. And, it's just a bustling city. And we've seen such tremendous growth in London, Ontario. And I can tell you this, excuse me, from my firsthand experience. Before coming to Fanshawe as a professor, I was chief of staff to the mayor here in London, Ontario. So that's part of my job is to sell this city, I guess. And I've always found it to be such a welcoming and such a fantastic city to live in.
Wow, you've just made my day by telling me about the cricket ground in London so
I'm
much.
glad to hear.
Um, we've got a question here from a student. Is the accreditation CHME standard?
So CHME, no, it's not. So Canadian Healthcare Management Executive is the referral that for that designation. So that designation tends to be for those that are mid-career. So it's not something you would be able to get coming straight out of the program. There are a few programs and related certificates that students can apply to be student members of while they're in the program. And then as they're building and moving through their career, there will be that opportunity for them to sit those exams or do that professional development in order to get that designation.
Right. Thank you. Um, we've got another question here. How long does the each term run for?
Yeah, so right now our terms are 14 weeks. So they run with a 14-week calendar with a break in week 7. So we have a break in between, and you still have 14 weeks, but one break in between that. So which is really nice, and the students kind of enjoy that build up to week 7, that break, and then coming back after and resetting and starting again.
A follow-up question to that, is there a semester break as well? Scheduled semester, like break between the semesters anywhere in the program?
Yeah, so in this program, as of right now, there is a break scheduled. So that after level 2, before you go into level 3, there is a break. However, we are hearing from students that, especially with COVID, that they're, that with this new world that we're living through, that they would like to continue. And so again, we take student feedback very seriously, and we try to do whatever we can to make the student experience top notch. So that's something we're looking at.
Right. One more question lined up here. How are the classes? Are the classes interactive?
You know, it's amazing because right now we're online and our classes are live. They're synchronous classes. And the student experience feedback that we've been getting has been phenomenal. Students are really enjoying the process of learning right now. And what they're finding is that their professors are able to deliver the same quality that they would get in the classroom, which is exactly what we want to do. So that's been really important in class when we get back to in class, which we all cannot wait for. Um,
Right.
Again, we want to not spend the entire class lecturing. We want to make the class a discussion. So what we hope to do is give you base knowledge that you'll come into class prepared to discuss. We will go through some of the key terminology in the learning, and then we want to break you up into small groups or have you work on some sort of individual activity and get feedback from us right away. So that way we can check your understanding and make sure that you're getting what you need out of that experience in that in-class time. That's really important.
Thank you for the answer.
Welcome.
Students, if you've got more questions, feel free to ask. Um, so, Corinne, I've got a question myself here. I'm sure the students would be really interested to know as well. If you could talk something about London South Campus. There's been,
Sure. Yeah. So, when we think of buildings, sometimes we just think of bricks and mortar and we don't think of the significance of that building. London South Campus is a really unique learning space. What I love about it is from teaching in the classrooms, we have these bright, beautiful spaces for you to learn in that are designed for interaction within that classroom. So you can move your seats, you can pod together and work on a group assignment. We've got these big whiteboards. So for my classes, students are up at the whiteboards and they are writing out their presentation or their answers on the board. We have great technology in the classroom so students can access that technology right away. This is a laptop program. Students show up with their laptops when they come to class and are very prepared to engage and excuse me, share their screen and do things like that. We do a lot of polling in our classes. So again, having these bright screens that you can ask questions on and get responses and see what everybody's thinking is really key as well. So the space itself is just beautiful. And then we've got so many amenities within London South itself. We've taken the main campus and shrunk it down into London South, which is really great, except for the gym. We need a gym. But everything else we've been able to do that with. And then there's all these great restaurants and cafes and things around London South that also add to the vibrancy of London South. So it's a great place to work. It's a great place to study.
right. Thank you. We've got space for one more question here. Should I go ahead, Corinne? Should I
Sure, go ahead.
ask you
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
So this question has been asked by multiple students about because everything has moved online. So any specific technology or software required if they should have along with their when they start studying the program?
Yeah. So what I've been telling students is what we really would like to be able to do is to give you an experience where you are able to interact. So where you're able to turn on a webcam, have either a microphone or a headset so that you can participate in your class fully. That's really important. So that from a technological perspective is the most important. But we've also simplified that technology because we realize that we are helping learners connect to Fanshawe from all over the world. So we want to make sure that we've specified it's laptop only, right? That's the only hardware requirement that you have. And we're hoping you've got a mic and a webcam that you can use as well. So those are the key tools for students.
Right. Thank you so much for your time today, Corinne.
You're
Uh,
welcome.
we have now reached the end of our session. Thank you to all the students for submitting amazing questions. We hope that we were able to answer all your questions in regards to Healthcare Business Administration program. If you have any more questions, please do reach out to us at international@fanshawe.ca, or you can also book an appointment with your Fanshawe recruiter in your region. Thank you again, Corinne, for taking time today and speaking to us about the program.
Yes, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Bye for now, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, bye.